IGA supermarkets across our region say it's time.
It's time.
Time to shop locally at IGA.
Shop where you help support local manufacturers like Paul's, Hazeldene's, Tip Top.
Love the deli.
Shop knowing that when you sit down to dinner, lunch, a snack, you're keeping your dollar local.
Shop where your local supermarket supports your community.
It's our price match. Fresh produce. Market days.
Huge meat sales.
It's time.
It's time to shop locally at IGA.
And this is Win News.
Tonight, police out in force for a festive season safety blitz to drive down road trauma. A warning for residents and visitors amid crumbling cliffs at Phillip Island. And the heartfelt reunion between SES crews and a woman rescued from floods. Good evening, welcome to Win News. I'm Brent Costelloe. Also tonight, regional women gather to celebrate their contributions to the dairy industry. Police will be targeting those doing the wrong thing this festive season as part of a statewide operation to drive down road trauma. It comes as the number of lives lost across regional Victoria continues to rise well above the 5-year average.
Tracy Blake's only daughter was killed in November last year.
She was a pedestrian and she was hit as she walked to the station by a disqualified driver.
This Christmas, police are working to drive down road trauma. Officers will patrol major arterial roads and highways as part of a statewide operation starting Friday.
The lead up to Christmas is our most high-risk period. Vulnerable road users and pedestrians in particular are particularly at risk.
Mobile phone use and speeding continue to be major causes of crashes.
And we're appealing to the community to make sure that they abide by the road rules and they separate those behaviours, but also making sure that they don't mix drinking with driving.
More than 230 Victorians have lost their lives this year. More than half were killed on regional roads. The number's higher than last year and well above the 5-year average. Police are reminding drivers no one's immune from road trauma, a message echoed by families who've lost loved ones.
Any celebration that's had, that it's always overshadowed by the fact that somebody's missing.
Grace Aiken, Win News.
Phillip Island residents are being warned about the potential for landslides and rockfalls along the southern coast. Recent heavy rainfalls added to the fragility of cliffs, which are made from soft rock and prone to collapse. A geotechnical assessment raised concerns about rockfalls at Surf Beach and the Colonnades earlier this year. Beachgoers are warned to avoid being in close proximity to the cliffs and to refrain from sitting 10 metres from the bottom. The federal government's come under fire for slashing Medicare subsidised psychology sessions. Experts say the cuts make little sense in light of evidence that mental health problems are now more common than ever.
Kyle Webber helps some of Australia's most chronically mentally ill people live a better life.
Typically the types of individuals that we work with are quite complex, so they can be suffering pretty intensely and we have a fair bit of support that we need to provide for them.
Many of his NDIS patients have responded with alarm to the news Medicare has been cut back to just 10 subsidised sessions in a year from January 1.
We know clinically that most psychological interventions require way more than 10 sessions, and so cutting that in half is quite detrimental to an individual's mental health.
Health Minister Mark Butler justifying the decision by saying the additional Medicare-backed sessions had aggravated wait lists and actually created barriers to access. But the mental health peak body says cutting the service back to pre-COVID levels isn't the answer.
The government's made this announcement without providing any additional funding for other community-based services or having a plan for other options for people who are currently missing out on services.
For many, the only port of call may prove emergency departments.
Our mental health system should be supporting people early when they become unwell and helping them to become better before it actually escalates into a crisis.
Political reaction has been swift. Both ACT Senator David Pocock and the Greens calling on the government to rethink the pre-Christmas cut. Clinicians are worried the move will put mental health care out of reach financially with dire consequences.
We deal with a lot of people in the community that don't have a lot of private funding, so that's one big reason why they're on the NDIS as well. However, in the wider, broader community, a lot of people aren't going to be able to access the care that they really should be.
Andrew Messenger, Win News.
A Central Victorian woman's been reunited with the SES volunteers who saved her life when she became trapped in rising flash floods. Marlene Winkey thanked her real-life heroes in a heartwarming reunion and says she wouldn't be here today if not for them.
Marlene Winkey wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her heroic rescuers. Today, the Bendigo grandmother was overwhelmed as she was reunited with the brave SES volunteers who saved her life.
Thank you for being good looking and being my hero. They are so amazing and brave.
A minute sooner or a minute later, we would have either turned around because the water was too way too strong there to drive through.
Marlene became trapped in rising flash flooding on October 22. She managed to escape through her car window, but the force of the water was so strong, her vehicle washed away.
I was in the creek looking to save my life and hugging a tree, and I can remember being thrown back in the water.
In an amazing story of good luck, 2 SES officers spotted her in the dark around 11 p.m. while on their way to a job in Woodvale.
I absolutely collapsed. That's it. I just fell straight to the ground and couldn't believe that my rescue had come that night.
It was quite a interesting night, to say the least.
Marlene forever grateful to her real-life heroes.
It will be a life to live much longer, so thank you.
Grace Aiken, Win News.
A regional council's leading the way when it comes to clean energy and also saving money on its power bills. A year into its participation in the largest emissions reduction project in the country, Ballarat saved more than 10,000 tonnes of greenhouse gas emissions.
Thinking globally, but acting locally.
It's just a tiny drop in the bucket, but every drop counts.
The City of Ballarat's one of 51 Victorian councils that switched to 100% renewable energy through the Victorian Energy Collaboration, slashing emissions and bills.
So we've reduced our greenhouse gas emissions by 12,000 tonnes, which is huge, and we've saved a lot of money as well.
In the last year, Ballarat councils saved an estimated $250,000 while part of the collaboration. The 9.5-year contract with Red Energy will see participating councils continue to be protected from record high wholesale prices in coming years.
So put really simply, the energy provider purchases 100% renewable energy, so that would mostly be wind in Victoria.
As council looks to continue down a greener path.
Reducing our emissions in every sector, so electricity and gas is a big proportion of the energy we need to tackle, transport and waste and other areas of emissions as well.
In an effort to reach its goal of being net zero by 2030.
If all councils did that, I think we'd have a lot greater hope of achieving the state target of 50% reductions by 2030.
Samantha Hogan, Win News.
A new festival created by young people is being held in the Latrobe Valley this weekend. Summerfest will feature activities with local artists, a silent disco and live music, all organised by the Latrobe Valley Youth Council.
This space will be transformed with live music and art for the inaugural Summerfest.
It's the first time we've had this opportunity to do something like this here at GPAC. We haven't had the scale of a facility before to be able to do this, particularly in an outdoor space.
Created by young people aged 16 to 25, the festival's bringing a range of artists to Traralgon.
So we've brought together, initially through our youth council and then subsequently through a collective project of young people in the local community, the opportunity for them to create an event.
Local artists will also be involved, creating a mural anyone can contribute to.
So we'll have different stencils that they can spray paint with different images and words.
The festival runs from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday. Everyone's encouraged to join the free event.
To see Teenage Dads, Darcy Fox and Tim Wolf, which will be great. So those are bands, opportunities that have been created by young people. They've made the selections in terms of the performers.
There's going to be something for people who don't know how to make art and just want to have a go, to people who are really passionate and would really like to stretch their creative wings.
Jack Morgan, Win News.
Coming up next on Win News Gippsland, why small businesses are under threat despite the post-COVID recovery, plus regional women gather to celebrate their contributions to the dairy industry. With the easing of pandemic restrictions comes the easing of pandemic support. The number of insolvent businesses is reaching pre-COVID levels as owners struggle to repay their debts.
Vacant shopfront after vacant shopfront, and those are just the ones you can see. All sorts of businesses are falling bankrupt now that pandemic support is lifting.
Probably from about July this year, there's been a steady increase. I think maybe October it was that they've got back properly to pre-pandemic levels.
The year prior to the pandemic, there were more than 8,000 corporate administrations nationwide, with only 5,000 official insolvencies last year and 4,000 the year before. The lower insolvency numbers pointing directly to government subsidies as well as kind consideration from the big banks.
We're seeing the tax office is now involved in its more regular debt recovery arrangements, whereas over COVID they were very much in a support and assist mode.
Australia's insolvency laws are being reviewed for the first time in more than 3 decades, and experts are calling for an overhaul to keep struggling businesses afloat.
Too soon within the challenges that a business faces are creditors thinking about, selling assets and winding up the enterprise. We need to be more thoughtful than that.
The Ombudsman stating liquidators get paid 3 times as much to shut down a business as they do to save it.
Insolvency practitioners, they actually get paid more to wind up a business rather than to redirect it and restructure it. They're the sorts of policy settings we think can be recalibrated for the advantage of not only the businesses but the benefit of the country.
Advice from the inside may keep you and your family home out of trouble.
Standing up early, taking responsibility for your business, recognising the trouble that you're in and doing something about it.
Romy Gilbert, Win News.
Women from across Gippsland have gathered for the Gips Dairy Ladies' Lunch to celebrate their careers in the industry. The event featured a panel where attendees shared their stories about working in the industry, highlighting some of the challenges.
Taking some time away from the farm to celebrate their careers in dairy.
We put a call out to see if women would like to come and network together and meet new women that all dairy farm here in Gippsland, and we've had 140 responses.
Yes, it was a wonderful event today. We had a lot of fun. There was a lot of, really good inspirational speakers.
A panel of 5 dairy farmers from across the region shared their experiences on the farm, giving attendees the chance to connect with others in similar roles.
I grew up in the industry, so I've been involved in dairy industry since I was born, and I made it my career from when I was about 20.
Organised by Gips Dairy, the event highlighted the importance of community in an industry that can often feel isolating.
I think it's really important for women to know that they're not just doing what they do every day by themselves in isolation. We're all in this together.
As the industry tackles the widespread worker shortage, they're encouraging more women to give it a go.
I think definitely 20 years ago it probably was more male-dominated, but we've seen, a really good rise in females in the industry. It's really good to see.
It's just about putting your hand up and having a go and seeing where you can go with your skill.
Jack Morgan, Win News.
Julia Gillard's iconic misogyny speech is just one of 10 extraordinary audio pieces chosen to be inducted into the Sounds of Australia registry this year. The National Film and Sound Archive established the prestigious collection in 2007, with the public nominating audio content that's had a cultural, historical or aesthetic impact on Australia. Ms Gillard proved to be a popular choice in this year's vote, receiving the most public nominations.
And misogyny by...
It also received the most votes from our expert panel as well. I think it's one of those entries that really epitomises what Sounds of Australia is all about. These are iconic moments in Australian history.
This year's selection also included the Bee Gees' hit Stayin' Alive and the Neighbours theme song. E-scooter operators have launched a new safety campaign urging riders to follow the rules this silly season. As Australians start their Christmas holidays, companies are expecting a big increase in the use of scooters. The combination of warmer weather and people travelling to visit friends and family are the reasons behind the spike in use. Operators are reminding riders how to stay safe.
So that means wearing a helmet, putting a phone down when you ride, giving way to pedestrians, parking responsibly, not drinking and riding, sticking to one person on a scooter. So these are things that our normal riders, our regular riders know, but they're going to be people who are riding an e-scooter for the first time this summer. Some
companies have 3-strike policies barring people who don't follow the rules. It's shaping up to be a white Christmas, with the Alpine peaks copping a fresh dusting of snow in recent days. And there could be more on the way, with the Weather Bureau forecasting more cold fronts into Thursday.
We might be 2 weeks into summer, but the wintry conditions have continued in southeastern Australia. Cold fronts moving through, bringing with them rain, gusty winds and even snow.
Cold and windy, very overcast. It's been on and off snowing since yesterday and hailing. We're expecting a lot more snow over the next couple of days, so might get a white Christmas.
Currently, the snow level is sitting at around 1,500 metres, which means any showers falling above those levels could be falling as snow. But with that secondary little front moving through today, we're going to see the coldest air moving through tonight, going into early tomorrow morning.
That means we could see snowfall down at around 1,100 metres into Thursday. The start of December shaping up to be the coldest on record.
We've seen a few systems moving through that have really kept those temperatures capped, but we're going to have to wait and see the climate summaries towards the end of the month to get that confirmed, but it's certainly shaped up very cool so far.
The Charlotte Pass team urging holidaymakers to make the trip this festive season.
It's not too often you'll get a white Christmas in Australia, so that's definitely exciting.
But before you head out, the Weather Bureau is warning travellers to drive to conditions.
Particularly with minimum temperatures overnight dropping below zero about those alpine peaks, driving conditions can get quite dangerous. So we just really urge everyone to keep an eye on the forecast, keep an eye on the website.
Montana Claire, Win News.
Next in sport, Churchill puts together a stunning attack to knock over Morwell's top order in the Latrobe Valley and District Cricket League, and Regional Victoria likely to miss out on hosting a team for next year's Women's World Cup. Regional Victoria is looking unlikely to host a team in the lead up to the 2023 Women's World Cup, with all but 2 training hubs now confirmed by FIFA. 29 team-based camps have been locked in across Australia and New Zealand, but no regional Victorian locations have been named. 2 Aussie bases are yet to be selected. They'll host Group B and C playoff winners at an event in February. Churchill's put together a stunning attack to knock over Morwell's top order quickly in the Latrobe Valley and District Cricket League. Morwell's first 2 batters fell with only 1 run between them as they attempted to reach a 204-run target. Churchill bowled them all out for 120. Meanwhile, the Raiders couldn't quite stop Moe from reaching its target, coming down to less than 2 overs, and Latrobe came dangerously close to beating the Cats before the side was bowled out just 7 runs short. Well, the clouds have cleared and the rain's set to stay away ahead of tonight's BBL season opener in Canberra. The Melbourne Stars warmed up for the clash against Sydney Thunder with a bit of backyard cricket.
They're some of the best rugby players in Australia, but it seems the Brumbies still have a bit to learn when it comes to cricket. Proving no match for the Melbourne Stars during a quick game in the gym this morning. Have been rubbing shoulders with the Brumbies this week, making use of the club's facilities ahead of tonight's BBL opener.
Really nice of them to allow us into their home.
Glenn Maxwell a regular as he continues his recovery from a broken leg.
Getting stronger each day. It's just a bit of arduous work and tiring, but yeah, standard rehab stuff. I'm starting to get it moving again. So I know it's going to be a long road, but it's getting better each day.
The Aussie star will be watching on tonight when the Stars step out onto Manuka Oval to meet the Thunder, backing his side to come out swinging after a lean few years.
I think the guys are really excited for tonight. To be back around the Stars outfield, I think, has probably revitalised a lot of the guys.
International stars Trent Boult and Luke Wood are in line to make their debuts for the Stars, while Alex Hales and Riley Russo headline the Thunder's squad. And while conditions may be a little chilly in the capital, Maxwell is urging fans to turn out.
There's no reason why the locals of Canberra shouldn't get down tonight, because I think it's going to be an amazing game of cricket and 2 teams are going to put on a really good show.
Gates open in just a few minutes. The first ball will be bowled at 7:15. Caitlin Chalmers, Win News.
And that's all in sport. Adam Straney will have the latest on the weather after the break.
It's the place with more in store. The Village
Very soon, it's the all-new IGA. Yes, it's almost here.
It's the place with more in store. The village has it all.
G'day, welcome back. I'm Adam Straney. Wet and windy across the region today as cold and unsettled airstream moves right through. Mother Nature at its best behind me. This lightning strike in sea spray is a perfect example. Beatrice, thanks so much. It's a brilliant photo. If you've got a photo that can beat this, then I definitely want to see it. That's my email address there, weather@wintv.com.au. Extraordinary. Rain possible for eastern towns as we go to air. There was 4 mils of rain this afternoon in Wonthaggi and Warragul. More possible tonight. Gale force winds of 67 k's battered Traralgon from 3, making it feel like 4 degrees. Yep. 4 degrees all day. Sale managed a few degrees despite those strong winds of 59 k's per hour. 5 degrees to start the day in Omeo, warming by around about 10. Dry for Lakes Entrance, but could see a little bit of rain tonight. Now, a cold front currently over Victoria will move out to the east overnight with a low pressure system expected to develop east of Bass Strait, but that low will then deepen east of Bass Strait tomorrow and will combine with a high south of the Bight, directing cold winds right over the state. As for our lakes, well, a strong wind warning has been issued. Showers and hail are possible, so please take care. Tomorrow's looking cloudy, high chance of showers, snow possible above 900 metres, 15 degrees through the south around Maui, Morwell, also the Prom, and only 1 degree warmer for Bansale and Lakes Entrance. So for Traralgon tomorrow, some light showers, a cool start to the day is expected as well. While for the capital, showers easing through the day, but around about 7 mils possible in Melbourne. So for the next few days, Thursday we'll see a high chance of showers, most likely in the morning. Friday, those showers to continue, just a slight chance, and then on Saturday those showers will eventually ease through the east, but temps pretty much remaining under 20 degrees. Brent, have a great night.
Love your work, Adam. Thank you very much. Enjoy your night. That is Win News for this Tuesday. My name is Brent Costelloe. Just 12 more sleeps until Christmas. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you again here on Win News tomorrow. Good night.
This has been a Win News presentation. Win News, Regional Australia's #1 news source.